So anyway, I was raised in church, and my parents would bring me like every week, but I absolutely had no relationship with God, none. And it was quite obvious. My high school years, my college years, people were witnessing to me like crazy. I am clueless to what they're saying, literally clueless. I didn't connect. I remember one guy told me later, he shared with me 2 hours in my dorm room in my freshman year of college, and he said, John, I walked out with tears in my eyes because you were completely unaware of what I was saying. But then my sophomore year of college, one of my fraternity brothers, now you have to understand, athletics is a big part of my background. I played varsity tennis at Purdue. I played Junior Davis Cup. I played the USTA circuit. So athletics, I respected people that were good athletes. And I remember one of the best athletes in the state of Indiana came, he was in my fraternity, came up to my room, and he started sharing with me. And all of a sudden, as he shared with me, things started connecting. And I think the first thing that was amazing to me is that God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, wanted to reveal himself to me personally. That blew me away. That he deeply, deeply cared about me, that he loved me uniquely, that he would make promises to me as any father would to his son or daughter, that he actually had crafted and carved a plan for my life. And I remember in seeing this, it opened my eyes, and when I received Jesus into my life and was filled with his Spirit, the thing that just was the marker for me was the presence of God. I mean, he filled a void that girls, tennis, success, school, nothing could fill. And his presence was amazing. I would go to services and just sit there and tear up. I would just listen to worship and tear up. I remember one time, I remember this so well. I'm watching a storm develop, and I just started weeping, and I'm thinking, my dad is the one that created all of this. And, he would answer my prayers so quickly. I remember one time, my cassette player was broken in my car. Do you guys know what a cassette player is? All right, but anyway, it's a dinosaur, I know. I'm so upset because I can't listen to teaching. I can't listen to worship music because my cassette player is broken, right? So I thought, Jesus said, lay hands on the sick and they will recover. So I laid my hand on that cassette player. I took my hands off after praying, and I pushed play, and that thing worked, and it never broke again. I mean, God is just like showing off to me, right? But then all of a sudden, after a couple years, his presence started becoming elusive. All right? I wasn't seeing prayers get answered as rapidly as I used to see. And in fact, the promises that he was making to me, it just seemed like I was going backward from the promises. It would seem actually at times that, nothing was going right in my life, and I'm getting all these questions. God, why doesn't it seem like anything is going right in my life right now? Why does it seem like, I'm going backward? God, why aren't you moving in my life like you used to move in my life? And the overarching question was this: God, where are you? Now, has anybody ever thought that? Am I like preaching over your head right now, or are we kind of on the same page? Anybody here? Okay, so you get what I'm saying, right? Well, what I didn't understand is that there is a 3-step process that God has to get us into our destiny. How many of you know that God has a personal destiny for you, right? David made this statement. He said, every day of my life was recorded in a book that you wrote about me before a single day of my life began. The steps of a good man and a good woman are ordered of God. He sees the end from the beginning. He's not bound to time. He knows your life. He knows the plans that he's made for us, right? But he's got this pathway that gets us, right? The first step of the pathway is that he'll make us a promise, or he'll give us a glimpse of what he's called us to do. If you look at David, the prophet says you're going to be king of Israel. If you look at Jeremiah, you're called as a prophet. He does this with every one of his children. You say, John, I've never had that happen. Well, can I be a little straightforward in love? My Bible says God rewards those who diligently seek him in faith. My Bible does not say God rewards those who casually seek him in wonder and doubt. Right? You understand what I'm saying? So he makes this promise, and then once the promise is made, then the process starts. Now, what is the process? I've affectionately termed this as the wilderness, right? Or refining. Why this process? Because this process develops in you the character to handle the promise. And once we successfully navigate this process of the wilderness, then the promotion comes, which is the promise fulfilled.